Today's video is about the E6B flight computer. It's basically what we call the whiz wheel. We'll talk about different parts of it as we go through. You can do distance conversions, time, speed, distance calculations, and fuel calculations on the computer side of the E6. You can also do pressure altitude to density altitude conversions, true airspeed from your indicated airspeed, and side 2, you can do wind corrections in both magnitude and heading. We'll look at both sides. Today we're going to actually concentrate on just the computer side of the E6. The calculations we're going to do today is distance conversions, time, speed, distance, and fuel calculations. The whiz wheel, this is the calculator side, and this is the wind side. All calculations can be done on the calculator side without any kind of electronic flight computer. But if you want, you can get, there's your E6 you can use. There's a CR3, which is also a type of whiz wheel calculator. Or you can go electronic or do emulations off the web. There's also apps you can download. For the E6, it has two sides. Again, we're going to concentrate on the computer side, but the back side is for your wind calculations. The type of calculations that this will do is distance, quantity, temperature, speed, calibrated in true airspeeds. It'll do weight calculations for you. And it will do time, speed, distance, and fuel, gallons per hour, time, and volume. Some of the parts of the calculator side you need to understand are the inner scale, which is the B scale, which has the time in minutes, also indicated airspeed. The outer scale, which is in the A scale, which is distance, fuel, and ground speed. And the reference, the index arrow. This is really important because that represents 60 minutes. So in this case, if I'm doing 75 nautical miles per hour, then I'm going to put the index on the 75. If I was doing 90 nautical miles per hour, then I would just slide the index over to 90, and then I would know I'm going 90 nautical miles per hour. If I was burning 90 gallons of fuel per hour, which is pretty high, then I would put the index over on 90, and that would represent gallons per hour as well. That's what that index rate arrow is. The numbers can represent any number from 10 to 90, but when you're doing your calculations, you've got to adjust for your decimals. So keep that in mind as you're doing your calculations. To do distance conversions, right here is nautical miles, right here is statute miles, and right here is kilometers. And these are your conversion factors. Kilometers to statute miles is times 0.62. Nautical miles to statute miles, it's 1.15. So you multiply your nautical miles by 1.15 to get your statute miles. And statute miles to nautical miles, it would be multiplying by 0.87. These positions on the computer side of the E6 make that conversion for you. There they are. So let's do an example. 61 statute miles is equal to how many nautical miles? So what I would do, if I did it manually, the conversion factor is 0.87. 61 times 0.87, if I remember that, is 53. Well, I don't remember that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put 61 right there on the statute mile conversion. And then I'm going to go down here and read down on the B scale 53, and that's going to give me the nautical miles. If I wanted to know how many kilometers, then I would go over here and read on the inner scale. It looks like about 97 kilometers. There it is. You put the 61 on the statute mile mark. Okay. Right now, forget the index. We're not using that. And then go down and read on the nautical mile side, right on the inside B scale. There it is. Okay. For example, I've got 100 nautical miles is how many statute miles. You do it the exact same way. You take the 10, which represents 100. Remember, you had to convert for the decimal. Put it under the nautical miles, and then read the statute miles, which looks like it's about 115, halfway between 11 and 12, and that represents 115. So you can see that right there. There it is. There's your 100 under the nautical miles, and you would read the 115 right under the statute miles here. That's probably a little bit more accurate. Okay. You can stop the video now and practice these, or pause the video and practice these 75 kilometers to statute miles, and do that on your E6. I'll go ahead and post the answers here so that you can check it when you're done. Doing speed, distance, time calculations comes straight from the formula speed is equal to distance divided by time. Okay. Now, rearranging the formulas, time is distance over speed, velocity is for v, and so you can actually do that in accordance with the little triangle here. Distance over time is speed, speed times time is distance, and distance over speed is time. So this is typical physics, how to do three unknown formulas. But the E6 will in fact do it for you if you use your reference, because that's per hour. Okay. Say you're going 75 knots. Well, that's 75 nautical miles per hour. So you would put your index here on the 75. I want to know how long it's going to take me to go 40 nautical miles. So with the index set, just go around and read 40 nautical miles, and then read the minute scale on the inside on the B scale. Looks like about 33 minutes, give or take a little bit. Okay, or 32 minutes. There you go. There's the 2 right there. Okay, 31, 32. Just maybe 15 seconds short of 32 minutes. All right, I'm going 120 knots, and I'm going to travel for 140 nautical miles. How long is it going to take me? Do it exactly the same way. You can see that you're going to set the scale here on 12. That represents your 120 knots, and this is per hour. That's what that little triangle is. Then you're going to read the outside scale, which is your distance scale, for 140 nautical miles, and then read in. It's just slightly short of 70 minutes, so it's about an hour and 10. So you can actually read it on both the B and the C scales. There you go. Start right there using your reference, and then go on the outside to your 140 nautical miles and read the B scale. And in this case, C scale is about an hour 10. Finding your distance is done exactly the same way. If you're going, 75 knots, then you can read the B scale for your time, and then read the outside scale for your distance. Okay, so again, if I'm going 75 knots, I use my reference here. If I was going faster, I would put the reference there. And then I would read on the time scale to find my distance. There you go. I'm going 75 knots. I did that for 35 minutes. Of course, if I did it for an hour, I'd go 75 nautical miles. But a little bit less than a half hour, there I can just read up here. And it's just short of 35 nautical miles. There you go. It's about 44 reading on the outside here. There's my 35 minutes, or 30 right there, 35 minutes reading on the outside. 44 nautical miles. You can see that works out very nicely. When you find your speed, all you have to do then is match your time circle with your distance circle, and then read the reference. Okay, it makes it really, really easy. Okay, All right, so if I'm going 8 minutes, I'm going to match that 8 minutes with my 10 nautical miles there. Okay, 10 nautical miles. Well, if I match those two, then I'd have to just go over and read the reference here, and it's 75 knots, or 76 knots, maybe one more than 75. Okay? So if I was going, say, 150 nautical miles, right, in 12 minutes, I would still be going 75 or 76 knots. You can go ahead and pause the video and try these problems. How far will you travel? Now you're finding distance. So I got to give you 90 miles per hour. Put the reference on 90. Read the outer scale, and it'll tell you. Read the B scale for the 45 minutes. Then read the outer scale, and you will find the answers here. So go ahead and pause this. There you go. Fuel calculations are exactly the same as your speed times distance because you're using gallons per hour. And so you're going to find the gallons, which is going to be your, and your time. Total fuel, time, and burn rate. Done exactly the same way. So, if I'm going 15 gallons per hour, I'm going to put my reference, my little triangle on 15. Then I'm going to go to 1 3/4 hours, which is basically 1 hour and 45 minutes. On the C scale, and then I'm going to read out for the gallons. Okay, so it's done exactly the same way. There you go. You can pause the video and try these problems. Here's the answers to help you out. Some more practice problems. I'll go ahead and put the answers up. There you go, and go ahead and pause and practice these problems. You've got a speed, distance, time here, speed, distance, time here. Find your time, find your distance. Give you your minutes and your distance, and find your velocity, and then your gallons per hour. Give you that. Just put the reference triangle on the 7. Read the B scale 30 minutes, and that will give you your how many gallons you're going to burn. Okay. Many more calculations that you can do on the E6, but these are the ones that we concentrated on today. And so just do some more practice problems. And there's a site right here on your Moodle you will find this PowerPoint. You can go to this site right here and do some more practice problems. You have a practice worksheet due. Go ahead and do that and turn it in on Moodle. Okay, that takes care of the calculator side of the E6.